Hi, I'm Danielle Cook and I want to welcome you to Cooking with the Cook Sisters, brought to you by the United States Botanic Garden. We're very happy to be with you regularly to offer online cooking demonstrations and home garden tips. As St. Patrick's Day approaches, I'm reminded of an old Irish phrase, yum yum pig's bum, cabbage and potatoes. And last week we worked with cabbage, and so this week it's all about potatoes. First, we'll pay a visit to the other cook sister, Adrienne, who's getting her beds ready for potato planting.
Hi, I'm Adrienne. Welcome to my garden. I'm actually in the kitchen right now, getting my potatoes ready to plant out in the garden in just a few minutes. So let's get going. These are seed potatoes of a red skin variety called Norland. Seed potatoes are specifically grown to be planted and become the next crop. These foundational potatoes are certified disease-free. I'm cutting them up in chunks, each one of which contains an eye, which is where the plant will grow from. So each seed potato actually can produce 3 to 5 plants. I've got to get rid of a couple of errant weeds, and then I'm going to clear the mulch off so the potato pieces will have good contact with the soil. Don't crowd the potatoes. The conventional next step is to cover those potatoes with more soil so they'll be well covered and they'll grow underneath that ground. But another method is to cover them up with mulch. In this case, I'm using my favorite, which is straw. This method makes it much easier to harvest the potatoes. I'll pile the straw on thickly but also loose. This allows the plants to come up through it. Thanks for joining me in the garden today. Let's go back to Danielle's kitchen and see what yummy things she's making with her potatoes.
We're using a pound of red potatoes today that I'm cutting into wedges, but Yukon Gold potatoes can certainly be substituted. Potatoes are a great source of potassium and vitamin C. Our dish also includes some red onion, which I'm cutting into half moons. A cast iron skillet is perfect for this dish. Heat a little olive oil, sauté until crisp, 3 ounces of pancetta. I'm leaving the pancetta slices intact because they're easier to flip. You can certainly use bacon instead or diced pancetta. However, the rounds of pancetta give this dish a salty, delicate, crispy finish. Transfer your crisp slices to a plate and add your potato wedges cut side down to the hot oil. Allow the wedges to brown for several minutes and then turn them over. Once the other side is nicely browned, cover the pan with a lid. Let the potatoes cook 4 to 5 minutes and then add your onion slices. Cover the pan again with the lid while we go to the next step. To remove the rosemary leaves easily, I'm pulling the stem through my fingers. Mince the little leaves very, very finely. In a small bowl, I'm going to combine 1 clove of garlic with the rosemary, some lemon juice, and some salt. Check the potatoes to make sure they're done by piercing them with a knife, and they should feel tender. Add the lemon rosemary dressing and cook for a minute or so until very fragrant. Just before serving, add the crispy pancetta. Leave the rounds whole or tear them up roughly. And a few grinds of fresh pepper finishes things off beautifully. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Adrienne will be taking care of her tender young plants out in the cold, and I will be inside making frittata muffins.